Welcome to the anti-Valentine's Day edition of Horror in Colors, Only Fangs, Eat Your Heart Out. We're going to get into all kinds of deep and uncomfortable topics about sex and horror. I'm Michelle Halloween, moderating this bitchin' panel today with some really cool bitches. First up, we have Goth Cakes Dat Slasher Babe, but I call them Mystic. Welcome back. We killed it the last time, so this time we're going to kill it even more because what is Valentine's Day? I call it Vagina Day. So, woo!
Oh, yes.
And we have Sadea from Holistic Shop. We all clearly love horror movies. Do you guys want to go ahead and share your
Why are we synced up? Why are we synced up right now?
If nothing else will be done on me, my nails will always be done.
One of the things that attracted me to horror wasn't just the blood, guts, and the scares and the fear, but even growing up, it was the amount of sex in horror films. Excuse me, I don't have COVID. I smoke weed.
Yes.
Before we started. Why do you think horror and sex go so well together?
They're both kind of those things that society wants to kind of push towards the fringes, and no one wants to pretend it's there. But horror also gives sex and sexuality a place to live.
Horror is sexy. A lot of people have their sexual awakenings from watching horror films. How many people are in love with Morticia Addams because of her energy?
Bram Stoker's Dracula is one of my favorite horror films. Sex and vampires go hand in hand because sex and the bloodlust that vampires have, to me, are the same thing. Do you both practice sex magic?
No.
So I literally last semester took a Slavic vampires course.
Ooh.
And we talked about the sexuality that came from Slavic folklore, which was where the vampire came from and everything like that. And so it got me to thinking about sex magic because it comes up in a few of like the older, more Slavic stories. And that's what led me to start actually trying to be like, I want to kind of, that sounds incredibly fucking sexy. So
sexy and it works. If you both simply start out by pleasuring yourselves or doing it with your partner, the moment that you climax, envision what you want to manifest, scream it out loud if you want to, as you hit that point, and as you're vibrating, I call it seismic charges from Star Wars. That's what my orgasms feel like. Seismic charges.
So since that's the thing, then like I guess I have done that like recently.
Magic is like that though. You get to do it and you're like, oh shit, I've already done that, so I got this. What kind of sex scenes would you like to see more of in horror films?
Definitely gender neutral, definitely people who are asexual, things that aren't the normal like boy girl thing. I would also like to not see them be murdered.
Michael Myers is bae. I understand him. I really understand that he is just a man on a mission, and when people get in his way, they just have to be you get in my way, I have to move you. So I understand it. I get it. I live my life that way. But also minus murder. But also at the same time, we've had some psychological horror and it's been really, really great. And that pendulum keeps swinging, but I would love to see something, even if it's not psychological, even if it is campy, but just using the senses as, instead of typing it to, it has to be this girl and she has to look this way, or this guy or this person that has to look a certain way and fit these certain tropes. I feel like if you turn it and you use senses or you use everything that everybody has, then there's space for everyone as well, and there can be representation for everyone, and you even out the playing field as well.
Growing up, it was always a cis man, a cis woman. Give us something different. A little bit of a trigger warning. How do you feel about the portrayal of sexual abuse in the genre? Let's take the one everyone knows, I Spit on Your Grave. And I'm talking about the original and the one afterwards and all the subsequent ones. All right, cool. You know, it really sucks what happened to Chill Homegirl, but she comes off and she gets to kill off all the men that raped her. Real life horror is what I'd like to see more of. And sex always has something to do with it. And again, I would like to talk about vulnerable communities, especially in the horror genre, being represented because it sheds light
Mhm.
I want to shed light on Black trans women. I want to shed light on the
Yes.
sexual abuses and even the invalidation of asexual people and non-binary people.
As a survivor, I try to stay away from it because it is triggering for me. But I do understand that sometimes it is necessary to the story. Honestly, I spit on your grave as my example. It's never justified. It is never okay. It is never right. But to see someone be able to take their power back is what, I guess, in a sense, makes the story a little bit more palatable or a little easier to watch. For me, even as a survivor, I actually saw that after my trauma and, going through my healing process. I actually saw it then, and it empowered me. As terrible as it was, it also empowered me and made me feel like, okay, I might not want to actually go and murder that person, but I can murder them by living a better life.
I love it. I love it. What about you, Mystic?
As someone who has also like had situations like that, it can be extremely triggering, and I don't know who's done it well. You guys act like the only people who experience sexual assault are women or cis straight women, when
Right.
it's anybody can be sexually assaulted if the person's intentions for you when they are in your space are wrong.
Yes.
I don't know if either of y'all saw it, but there was a show that was on for one season on MTV, and it's called Sweet Vicious. I love that series because it's literally about a girl who suffered a sexual assault, or who went through a sexual assault, and she becomes like a vigilante. Like, to this day, I'll go on a binge and I'll tweet the writer of the show, and I'm like, yo, I know I do this every year. Like, she knows me by name. I'm like, I know I do this every fucking year, but I have to tell you how amazing that show is as a survivor, how amazing it is to see that story.
When I hear I'm a survivor, it fills me with so much hope and so much love. I thank you for your courage and your bravery. We women stick together. We have your back. What changes would you like to see in horror regards to body positivity? And are there any body positive or any positive examples that you could think of? The one that came to mind for me that blew my mind, had me get a tissue, and was just like, bitch, fuck yes. In Lovecraft Country, when Ruby, the sister Ruby, the thick sister, when Ruby got down on the stairs with that blonde hair, blew up, both of them. They were, to me, that was an androgynous character, even though that wasn't in the book. But Ruby got the fuck down. That's my example. I need more of that in horror. I need more of me.
Society has told women who are under 110 pounds that they are too big.
At one point in time, it was like you had to be like, what was that dude's name? Shamar Moore. You had to look like that. And the first person I thought about was the family from Us. But we would have seen bodies like that a long time ago. Juxtaposing them against the white family that Elizabeth Moss was a part of. Horror has been the most honest genre that we have, and the most free genre. It's not, even though it's condemned, in that being pushed to the fringes has given a lot of freedom and a lot of space.
You know what's really funny to me is that it's funny when we talk about like, how did we get into horror and horror and sex? Right now we're on this thing where horror is just so, you could do whatever you want. That's why I'm so into independent horror. Horror is obscure, it's taboo. So is being Black. And in a sense, I want to keep our community obscure and taboo, because how do we avoid the white exploitation?
That's where I think the conundrum is. We see what it's like when you have people come and cherry pick your culture. We need to charge and challenge each other to grow. With horror and sex, there's so much growth. There's so much beauty in horror. There's so much beauty in sex. There's a light and a dark. We just need to control more of the narrative.
My introduction to sex was Save Yourself Till Marriage. It was Purity Group. I knew that if I had told my mom that I had read the end of the book that was talking about you being interested in other women, that she would have shipped me off somewhere we need to stop making it like a thing, like, oh, I hope my son doesn't grow up gay. Like, he's not going to be a bad person, but he might be because he feels bad about who he is.
Which
You
may
might
cause
turn
him to
him.
make bad decisions.
That's a horror story right there. The narrative needs to change to where you're being educated. I blame my Christian dad for the satanic witch that I am today, as I'm labeled. For Valentine's Day, which two horror characters would you two set up together for a sex scene? Describe the scene. Let me go first. I really want to see Michael Myers get down with Lupita. I forget her character's name in Us. Not the one above ground, but the one below. That would be hot. But I also would love to see Michael Myers portrayed as a Black person. Ooh. And not necessarily, look, Mystic, not necessarily man either. You know what I mean? I would love that. That would be fun.
Let me kill.
Are you guys familiar with Carmilla? Carmilla is the first lesbian vampire. I would take Carmilla and Elizabeth Pena's character in Jacob's Letter.
Oh, okay.
That would be so
okay. Okay.
I would say like Blade, because he needs a love interest. Did Angela Bassett's character in Vampires in Brooklyn stay a vampire?
I don't recall something where she stayed a vampire, but her.
Ooh. Yes, Blade and Maria Laveau. Like,
that's
they
it right
would.
There
would be plate tectonics that would move.
Okay, so I usually am like, I don't like Valentine's Day, stupid. Give me lubricant. I just want to fuck. Love yourself, damn it. Love yourself on this day. Give yourself a gift. Do something for self-love. Eat your own heart out.
Love whatever creative idea that you have had for a long time. Put that into motion.
Be kind to yourself. I think this year everyone's grieving a lot. There has been a lot of loss when it comes to people, when it comes to just normality, when it comes to life in general. So allow yourself to just feel that day and don't put pressure on yourself, and just like we've all said, just love on you.
We have to keep taking care of us.
If you are feeling, a little like you want to have some self-love time and you want to enjoy yourself and please yourself, holisticshop.com is always there, and we have left the light on for you.
Consider dropping us some tips. Give us money. We're not going to pussyfoot around anything. Give us some money. That's how you can also support Black artists in this day and age. Love you guys. Thank you again for watching. Thank you, Horror and Color, for hosting us.
Thank you.
Thank you
to our guest. And happy Valentine's
you.
Day. Eat your heart out.